Greetings, all of you definitely real boys and not wooden puppets. Today we're going to be talking about, oh my god, Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. I hope I pronounced that correctly. This is a 2022 animation by the man himself, Guillermo del Toro, the man in the title. He has reimagined this story of Pinocchio, but I'll get to that. Who is this guy with the extremely hard to pronounce name? Well, he's a director. And to my surprise, he's done Pacific Rim, Hellboy, Crimson Peak. Since fucking when? I didn't know this. I didn't know he was capable of these amazing films. And you know he's into some artsy stuff because he did Shape of Water as well. The soundtrack to that is stunning and it looks beautiful. So I really, really want to watch that next. So the movie itself, this is the story of Pinocchio, apparently reimagined. The only Pinocchio experience I have is with the Disney version back when I was like 5. A puppet comes to life. He wants to be a real boy. If he lies, his nose gets longer. Sums up pretty nicely. Shrek uses him as well. That's like his only thing. And he's made of wood. Right, that's about it. So, we meet Geppetto and his son Carlo in Italy during a war. It's in the World War One, I think, which is surprising. I didn't think that we'd be in a semi-modern world, you know. Carlo gets tragically killed in a bombing, and Geppetto builds a wooden version of his son in his grief. We also meet Sebastian Cricket and a spirit lady who I don't remember from the Disney movie. I do remember Mr. Cricket. The spirit lady gives this wooden version of Carlo life and tasks Mr. Cricket to look after him in exchange for one wish. And everyone is okay with a walking, talking puppet. The whole town, Geppetto, everyone, they fucking send him to school, dude. What is wrong with these people? Anyway, there's this funny scene where Mr. Cricket explains what math is, and Pinocchio immediately gives up on school, like, bro, we feel you, man. I understand, math is hard. Anyway, eventually we meet a man with the sexiest hairstyle in the world, and whose name I can't remember, and he convinces Pinocchio to join the circus. But Pinocchio gets absolutely destroyed by a truck, and we meet, like, all of the people who are interested in him when he wakes up. One guy wants him to be in the army, another one in the school, and then this guy in the circus. And Pinocchio chooses to go to the circus so that hairstyle doesn't sue Geppetto. Long story. Eventually, Pinocchio figures out that hairstyle is actually horrible, puts on a bad play in front of Mussolini, and then Mussolini shoots him. Bear with me. Bear with me. I know how it sounds. Okay? Bear with me. Pinocchio then gets shipped off to train as a soldier in the war. Just kidding, they fucking bomb the whole compound. Hairstyle is also there, and his monkey assistant, Sapsatura, betrays and kills him. Bear with me. Bear with me, alright? Pinocchio then meets his father inside of the stomach of a giant fish. Then the fish sneezes them out, chases them, and Pinocchio sacrifices himself to save them from the fish. Bear with me here. The fish explodes, alright? I know how it sounds. What the fuck is going on? Well, I don't know either, okay? I don't know. They do a lot of yapping in the end. Then Pinocchio gets to live as a real boy. And in a twist, Pinocchio outlives his older companions and he walks out alone into the sunset to explore the world as a real boy. A real wooden puppet boy thing. He's still a puppet. He just is not immortal anymore. Dude, I don't know, alright? So, a happy ending, just reminding us to live our lives fully. Pretty good movie overall, except for the last scene after the fish on the beach. I'll get to that. And in Mr. Cricket's words, imperfect father, imperfect sons, loss and love. So, the stop motion was amazing. Obviously not as fluid as other styles, but it does the job. It is beautiful. Alright, beautiful. I cannot tell you how underrated stop motion is. I know Wallace and Gromit, it's hilarious, but it looks stunning, alright? So the characters are very colorful in some parts, and then particularly during the army segment, we learn about Kindlewick, I hope that's his name. his problems with his dad, because he's the one who wants him to go to the army. We didn't get a nice resolution between them because they fucking got blown up in the camp, but it's nice to see some perspective of other relationships and compare them to Pinocchio, not just Pinocchio meeting people and then they want to send him to the circus and then they die, you know? So that scene I mentioned on the beach, I didn't like how they handled Pinocchio's immortality. And this is the whole crux of Pinocchio being a real boy and not just a puppet, right? The afterlife system, which is the spirit lady, she says that every time he dies, he spends more and more time waking up. So, like, his respawn times get slower, if that makes sense. So, at first, he wakes up after a few minutes. It'll be hours, and then days, weeks, etc. But in the end, he breaks the rule and becomes mortal, which you would think is exactly what he wants, but he drowns trying to save Geppetto, which is why he broke out of the rule in the first place, so he doesn't have to wait. So because Geppetto was in trouble, he saves him, dies, and then gets revived because Mr. Cricket wishes it, because he like had his wish, because Pinocchio became a good boy, which is what the spirit lady wants, and then she granted Mr. Cricket's wish, and Mr. Cricket wished for him to be a real boy, to revive him. Just very convoluted, when they could have just kept reviving him because he's a real boy, and then he's like, I don't want to be a real boy, as he got blown up by that fish, and then she revives him as the real boy. He saves Geppetto, and everyone lives. They don't have to do that rule breaking. Oh, but what if this? What if? Just, it could have been handled a little bit easier, in my opinion. Also, forgot to mention this. This movie is a musical. I don't I don't like musicals. I fucking hate musicals. I think they're so annoying. But they're singing. I don't like singing. Doesn't change my thoughts on the movie. They are good musicals. I just don't like musicals in general. So that may or may not have interpreted it. But anyway. What is the rating that I give this movie? It is a 7. 7 out of 10. Visually stunning, very impressive. I love stop motion. Soundtrack was good, except for the singing. That's just me. Story was good, and setting it during the war was also unique. But the huge problem I have was the ending being convoluted, and you didn't have to introduce the waiting longer each time thing if you're just gonna make him a real boy at the end anyway. Whatever, it's alright. So, pros and cons, but still good. Great time overall. I like this movie. It's good. And rating this movie a 7, sometimes I wonder, should I not give it a 7.5? Should I not give it a 7.9? But then, why don't I just rate it out of 100? I should stick to my numbers. And, okay, a movie is perfect. Why doesn't it get a 10? Because it's not good enough? How come this movie is an 8, but another one that you said was amazing was a 7? It's because 7 had more negatives than the 8. And why is this movie a 6 or a 5? It's because they have a lot of problems with them. So a movie with no problems, or like a pretty good average movie, is a 7. I'm just thinking about this now, right? A really good movie is an 8. A stunning, amazing, beautiful movie is a 9, but I'm still saving the top of the tiers for the 10s. They're coming. Alright, I probably should have made Bullet Train a 10. Maybe I haven't watched it enough. But I will bring a 10. Alright, I will bring a 10. It's coming. No, I'm not saying expect a 10 in the next review, but I'm saying it's coming. I don't just throw out 10s for no reason, alright? I want it to mean something. Alright? Anyway, babbling over. I hope that you guys become real boys. If you are a puppet watching this right now, I hope you become a real boy. Enjoy that. Say hi to Mr. Cricket for me. Anyway, goodbye. See you next time.